Coming on the air with breaking news about President Biden's son Hunter, with a verdict apparently reached in his federal criminal trial. We're moments away from learning what that verdict will be.
We're standing by for our reporters at the courthouse. I believe we do have a verdict from Ryan Nobles there at the courthouse, Lester.
Yeah, let's go to Ryan right now.
Yeah, that's right, Lester and Laura. We just received this verdict from our reporters inside the courtroom. On count one, the verdict is guilty. On count two, the verdict in the Hunter Biden criminal case is guilty. And on count three, the verdict is guilty.
What does this verdict actually mean? What is the signal that has been sent to the Joe Biden White House?
Let's get ready to rumble! You can't handle the truth.
Hi, I'm Pastor Marty. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And once you are, smack the bell, click the word all. That'll give you a notification of my rants, my ravings, and of course, my undeniably flawless reasonings. Please like and share this video. It's the only way that we can get the word out that we're here. Welcome to the Afternoon Drive. Well, a couple of weeks after the liberals were taking the victory lap over the conviction of Donald Trump, that they can now call him the felon, well, kind of right back at you. But, we don't want to go tit for tat here, and these are two, obviously, totally different sets of circumstances, charges, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But do you remember back in October of 2020 when we were told the Hunter laptop story, that was all Russian disinformation, that there were those members of the intel community who came out, what was it, like 20 or 40 or whatever it was, all saying the same thing. It was Russian disinformation. Pay no attention to Donald Trump on this issue. That was not Hunter's laptop. And then we find out it was Hunter's laptop. And Hunter was, what we'd always known him to be, just this crackhead out of control, cashing in on his dad's name and political connections to garner money from Ukraine, from China, from Poland, and other places. And some of that money has been funneled to Joe Biden himself. And this tax case coming up in California could be an even bigger bombshell than this gun case here in Delaware, that I got this funny feeling they didn't really think Hunter was going to be found guilty. First of all, it's Delaware. This is where Joe lives. Joe Biden was front and center every day. Of course, no trying to intimidate the jewelry with the Biden family, other than Joe all sitting there front and center every day. No putting any pressure on the jury that way. Donald Trump has been gagged because supposedly, that was intimidating the jury because he said things and tweeted things. But Joe Biden being there every day, no pressure on the jury like, this is the president's son. Don't you dare lay a finger on him. He gave his little sob story about, I was a crackhead, I didn't know what I was doing. Lied, falsified records, purchased a firearm that he's not supposed to have. And I thought Joe Biden, with all of his crackdown on gun control, and he never seems to miss a day or an opportunity to slur his way through another slam at those of us who are Second Amendment advocates, who legally and lawfully and responsibly are gun owners, never seems to miss an opportunity to take a, forgive me for the pun, shot at us, and that we're the reason that there's all these problems in America. And yet here's his own son who flaunts his nose at the laws his dad helped create, and the Justice Department wasn't going to do anything about this. And the judge stepped in and said, whoa, we're not throwing these gun charges out. No. You get them in court, get some lawyers. We're going to do this. And it happened. Now we could talk all about we're finding out about what's happening with this California tax evasion case, and it doesn't look good for Hunter or Joe. But there's a reason this all went down the way it did. Yeah, the jury did its job. Yeah, the judge did their job. The judge was pretty much in this case kind of down the middle. Granted some things the defense wanted, granted some things the prosecution wanted, said no to the prosecution on some things, said no to the defense. It was a 50-50 split, unlike what Donald Trump faced in Manhattan. But why? And the sentencing could happen right around the time of September 5th, which is when the California tax case is supposed to happen. Right before the election. Now, we understand that there's a weaponization of the justice system. I talked about that yesterday. But don't think this is now the conservative side of the judicial system is going to go after the Biden side because of what Biden and his cronies have done to Donald Trump. This is Democrats doing this to Biden. Biden is tanking everywhere, but he won't go. He won't step aside. He won't hold that meeting in the Oval Office where he says, he's gotten to an age and with his health that, he really feels it would be best for the country if he just stepped aside. He won't do that. He won't go. And the Democrats have done everything they can to try to shelter him and protect him. And they've tried to take out Trump every way they can imagine. And all of these court cases have done. You have turned Donald Trump into a martyr. You have pretty much guaranteed that people are going to, quote, vote for the felon. And it's going to be a bloodbath massacre. It's going to be so huge, there won't be a way for them with just their usual shenanigans to overcome it. It's going to be so massive, and the fact that he is eroding so much support from Hispanic voters and black voters by the millions, and they're going to Donald Trump. There's no way. The only thing they can do is replace Biden on the ballot, period. That's it. There is no enthusiasm for Joe Biden. I told you yesterday, when you have thousands of people lining the streets in San Francisco to cheer on Trump, you couldn't get hundreds of people on the streets in San Francisco to cheer on Biden, and he's supposed to be their guy. There is a shift ideologically in this nation around the world. Look at what happened in Europe over the weekend. The populists are taking over. And the deep state, that world conundrum, all of a sudden, the people are reclaiming power. No, can't have this. So this is a sign to Biden, because you're hearing actually some pretty fair reporting on this. Even NBC saying this case against Hunter was pretty cut and dried, even though the Bidens didn't think that he would actually be found guilty. This is their backyard. These are supposed to be their people. This guilty verdict is a clear signal to Joe from the Democrats, from the power brokers within the party. You got to step aside. We'll take it out on your son if you don't. Step aside. If you step aside, we'll make these problems for Hunter go away. But until you step aside, it's open season on Hunter. That's exactly what this verdict means. And again, it's not coming from the right, it's coming from the left. This is another indication that the left wants Joe gone, and he's not listening. And every plan that they came up with to hobble Donald Trump has backfired. And I told you this months ago, that it was the Haman curse. And I explained this to you. The Bible, yes, I'm going to talk about the Bible, says the curse causeless shall not come. Haman was a man who hated the Jews. He hated the Jews so much that he got the king to agree to allow him to deport them, and those who would not leave, he would be allowed to hang. But it was then that the queen, Esther, revealed to her husband, the king, that she herself was a Jew and that he was allowing Haman to hang her and her relatives. The king ended up hanging Haman on his own gallows. They have erected all these gallows to try to take down Donald Trump, including the weaponization of the judicial system. And it just took down Hunter. And the bigger case against Hunter is still coming. In the meantime, all of this that they tried to throw onto Trump has backfired colossally. Joe won't step aside. You've got articles coming out saying that, yeah, this guy that you say that we watch mumble and fumble and trip and fall and you know, every day slur his words, but you're trying to tell us that behind closed doors, man, he is sharp and world leaders are terrified of him. Now you got articles coming out saying, no, he's mid-sentence and falling asleep in staff meetings. We have video footage of him soiling himself in public. And Jill and the family won't release power. And they're willing to commit elder abuse to do it. And the power brokers have said, no. This is why the media is now reporting accurately and in great detail the millions of dollars that funneled through Hunter's fingers and went straight to Daddy with all of his business dealings in Ukraine. And it won't be long before the media will begin to even thwart the military-industrial complex and start pointing out, gee, all these millions of dollars from Ukraine to Hunter to Daddy, is that why we're in turn pouring billions of dollars into Ukraine now? It's payback for what they bought. So the fact that they're able to go after Hunter now is a clear indication, Joe, we'll lay off your son when you step aside. If you don't step aside, we're coming for you. Now, Joe Biden said today he will not pardon his son, that he respects the verdict. Bullhock. He respects the verdict. But let me tell you what the Biden family is like. They would eat their own young. Remember now, this is Hunter, who for years has disavowed and has had nothing to do with a daughter that he fathered. And it was finally just recently, after the microscope of attention of her, that the Biden family has begun sending and paying child support. Paying child support where years Hunter Biden was spending over $8 million on drugs, luxury cars, and sex services, all that he tried to write off. And Donald Trump got indicted for paying some money to Stormy Daniels to shut up and go away. And Americans are watching this and they see this for what it is. But the fact that all this is coming out now, and we know that Hunter slept with his dead brother's wife. We know that Joe took showers with his teenage daughter, and she wrote in her diary, I don't know if this is right or not. This family will eat its own to save itself. So Joe saying that he won't pardon Hunter and that he respects the jury could basically be saying, hey, Hunter, you're so stupid. If you got yourself into this mess, I can't let you affect me or my presidency. What a family. What a family. Say what you want about Donald Trump's family, that they're loyal and they defend each other. Wouldn't you hope your family was loyal to you? Here's the thing. It hasn't gotten to this level yet, but you let Hunter, for the first time in his life, this privileged little brat who's never had to face any consequences for anything, if he really get scared to the point that he could actually be in a real jail cell, in a real prison, around real prisoners that might hurt him? Well, he's Biden. And Biden survived, even if they have to eat their own. Watch how fast Hunter turns on Joe and gives up the evidence. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hi, it's yours truly, Pastor Marty from the Afternoon Drive. You know, from time to time, people actually do ask me if I really pastor a church, and the answer is yes. I pastor here in Macon, Georgia. This is the Midway Baptist Church, just outside Macon, a little town called Lizella. But I really am the pastor. I'd love to have you come and pay us a visit sometime. You can look us up online, midwaybaptistchurch.net. That's midwaybaptistchurch.net. I'd love to meet you. I'll save you a seat.